me into the BBC makeup department. They put a wig on me, a moustache. I'm not being funny, I look like a young Charles Bronson.
What kind of interest?
Well, £1,000 loans end up with £7,000 and £8,000.
Over what period of time?
A year, 2 years.
And you were knocking on the door?
I was knocking on their door. I mean, I must emphasise I've given it all up now.
Collecting how much?
I've took £7,000 and £8,000 off the people, and I wouldn't like to sort of...
But you know they can't pay?
Well, I'll get it out of them, or I used to get it out of them.
How'd you get it out of them?
Used intimidating methods.
I've told them that I've done this, I've done that, and there were people in the audience, mouths open, they were horrified. You know, am I really sitting near this man? Like, but of course, it was all an act.
You just said yourself...
We've had women offering their bodies and everything, like, you know what I mean? I had too much of a conscience to do that.
5 weeks later, they've got another programme going on about revenge and the nasty things that people do.
Well, that's when we take revenge.
Oh, come down again. I said, but I need a different disguise this time. I found a burglar in my house. I got extremely upset by this and held this fella as an hostage for like 3 hours, tortured him.
Tortured him?
Yeah.
How did you torture him?
Well, I told him I was going to kill him, like, and I put him in the boot of a car. Well, before that, I ran a piece of wire from the light bulb socket to his tongue and said I was going to turn on the switch.
They're laughing. They're making me laugh, but it's not funny, is it, really?
I think it is. I mean, when I done one of my scams last year for the Cambridge United takeover, what I'd done there, it was brilliant, actually. Phoned up a chap called Steve Greenall, who I believe is the secretary of Cambridge United, and said, hello, Mr. Greenall, is the club for sale?
The first words he said was he was acting on behalf of a well-known household name in the entertainment industry, and Elton John, Rod Stewart, people like that spring to mind who've all got an interest in football. So obviously given that we've already said that we would take notice of anybody who wanted to invest in the football club, we had to listen to what he had to say.
They said, look, please tell us, who are you representing? And I said, at this stage, I'm saying nothing, obviously, which is the sort of thing that would be said. So it's obviously coming across as being very genuine.
I was expecting someone maybe in a jacket and tie, certainly with a briefcase with him with some notes and maybe a business card. And as it was, he turned up in an open-neck shirt, very casually dressed, little boy with him with a baseball cap on backwards.
Dave Smith's part-time associate is his 12-year-old son, also called Dave Smith.
Well, I thought it was shameful, really. There was no need to involve a child in whatever endeavour he was doing, whatever he was setting out to do. The poor little boy, I'm sure, didn't realise what was going on.
And they kept asking me if I wanted a drink, and I kept saying, yeah, and I had about 5 cokes, and they gave me loads of chips and everything.
The little boy is going to grow up not knowing the difference between truth and fiction.
Now, if I was showing my son how to do it, to go and do dishonest things, that would be wrong. My son knows I'm only doing it for a laugh and a joke. There is a bit of difference.
I do scams with my dad.
What sort of things you do?
I can't tell.
We've gone up and we've sat right in the middle of the director's box. And you could see all the fans were looking at us. All the fans were wondering who we really were.
When somebody was coming in almost like a messiah, somebody was going to come in and inject some much-needed capital into the club.
His parting words to the directors were,
you'll get a phone call and you'll know all about it.
There'll be plenty of publicity about it on Monday.
It was a Sun newspaper reporter who phoned him and said, do you realise you've been scammed by Dave Smith? And I think the man was totally embarrassed from what I hear.
And he hurt the feelings of a lot of people. People behind the scenes, the players, directors, and the chairman, not least the fans. You know.
I don't think I feel guilty about that. Well, I don't feel guilty because the fact is for a few days I've given some supporter of a small third division club the hope that some mega money man is going to be coming in and they're going to see £500,000 players at their club.
It wasn't very funny at all. Just a sick joke, really. Just, if you want words to describe Dave Smith, he's a really, I think he's just a sick joke. He's a cheap shot man.
It's not lying, it's an act. You know, it is acting. You know, because there's lying. If liars are people who go out and con people, who take people, you know, con them out of their life savings, who go out and commit fraud on people, that is lying. What I'm doing is acting and having a laugh. I mean, would you call Jeremy Beadle a liar?